Sorry about that. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. We're very glad you're with us. It's December 12th, 2025. Please note this event is being recorded and will be uploaded to the Career USA YouTube channel to view in the future. By participating in this event, you give consent for your name and picture to appear. Please note that any comments you put in the Zoom chat window will not appear in the recording. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Jeff Morris. Back in 2007, I started facilitating and leading the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. This group's been around since the late 1990s. I took it over in 2007 when the prior leader landed a job. In 2008, I started a website called careerdfw.org, a website to help those unemployed in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. In 2012, I launched careerusa.org to help those around the United States. I have written a book called What I've Learned About Your Job Search That You May Not Know. It is available on Amazon, or if you see me in person, I have copies with me. And since 2017, I've been a member of the practice interview team, also known as the PIC crew, and you'll hear more about them in just a few moments. Our agenda this morning will start out with success stories. We'll then go to job leads. If we have any recruiters online, then we'll do 30-second introductions. We'll meet everybody who is here with us in the room today, and then we'll get everybody who's online. And then we'll hear from the Interview Success Workshop, the practice interview team, the career tip of the week, and then we'll have our main event about the top of the hour. Well, we like to start the meeting off with good news, success stories, and I know we have landings because we have treats. So come on up and grab the mic and tell us your good news. You can tilt it up more. Turn the mic on.
My name is Gregory Langfeld. I have landed. My position will be an account executive 2 for Haggerty Insurance. I will actually work from home. My start date is January 26th. I found the job through networking. I actually had worked with somebody that referred me to this job. I had told them I was looking for this type of work in insurance financial services, and they found this job probably about 4 weeks ago. And they had it was great because this company has 1,800 sales reps all across the country working in 50 states. Haggerty Insurance has a class of 35 people that they're hiring for this January 26th start date. I went through a screening with Mary Kate, who was sending them on the ones that passed the first screening, which was a phone screen of about an hour. They would go to a Zoom call, which would have a panel interview of senior of a senior recruiter and one of the team leads. So they went through about a 45-minute Zoom call, and then it was about a week after that. They were telling me that I'm hired, and then so we had about a 2-week window for this job. Now, granted, I don't start until the 26th of January, but that gives me time to help other people find jobs. And what I learned in the process is keep networking, helping others helps yourself because it just raises the boat for everybody. And that's why I'm here today to help find out who and how I can help network to somebody's next job. And I'm Gregory Langfeld. So if see me on LinkedIn, connect in.
Great, great.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? Any other landings to announce?
Yes, good morning. My name is David Glasscock, and I have landed. And thank you. I'm going to be an account executive with a company called Rudic Innovation and Technology. Um, they selling managed IT services. Um, I start on January 5th, and I found the job through LinkedIn. But I also kind of networked into because I then reached out to the hiring person and kind of LinkedIn strategies of reaching out to the hiring manager, introducing myself, asking for the interview, and that ended up working. The I got to say the LinkedIn Tuesday sessions are really helpful, just as far as how to position yourself online and how to ultimately navigate that part of the process because it is a major part of the process. And the green ring is good, by the way. I avoided that for a while inexplicably, but once I did, I suddenly started getting all these people reaching out to me. I'm thinking, why did I wait so long to put this on here? I think it's a psychological thing, but um, ultimately, I think it's all about doing whatever it takes to shorten your job search. For me, the on this specific interview or on this specific job, I only had one interview, but I know I was ready for the interview and I was able to succeed on it because I had done all this stuff. I'd come here, I'd gone to the pit crew, I had just put myself in a position to be ready when I actually had the opportunity to sit down in front of somebody and actually have a conversation and get a job. So that's like I said, I would not have been properly prepared without the pit crew. And it's funny because I never even ended up doing the practice. I was like scheduled to do the practice right before I had the interview, or right after I had the interview, and then not needing it. So, but by sitting in and seeing everything, it really helped. And then coming every week to this meeting, South Lake, going to Frisco Connect when they have that pit crew. It gives you ideas. It gives you you meet other great people that are going through the same process as you, and you ultimately end up becoming better at looking for a job, but also just a better. You figure out ways to make yourself a better employee that somebody would want to hire, and you figure out how to sell yourself better. I've been in sales for 15 years, but it's one thing to sell a product and know how to do that well. It's another thing to sell yourself. And those are two different things. And a lot of times you're not in the habit of selling yourself every day. You're in the habit of selling a product. Or at least not selling yourself specifically. Obviously you sell yourself, but at the same time it's a different animal when you're actually putting yourself out there. So I can also tell you AI was extremely helpful. I found it very handy to use in resume writing and interview prep and all that kind of stuff. So highly recommend doing that. Um, Advice that's really helped me in this situation is just like I said, staying active, being involved, networking with people. I was only out of work for 2 months, and I think I can definitely attribute that to getting plugged in here and in these connect groups as much as I did, because last time I was out of work 4 or 5 months, and it was just clicking apply on LinkedIn or clicking apply on different websites and not doing what it took to make myself a better employee or a better person to hire, and not getting plugged in with people. I think it definitely extended my job search quite a while. That it probably didn't need to happen. So keep coming back to these meetings because they're great and they benefit, and I think being involved with all these things, that's how you win. So yeah, my name is David Glasscock and I'm landed. So thank you very much.
Great, thank you. All right, anybody else? Any other landings to announce? All right, we'll move on here. Let's see here. For everybody who's on chat, if you will, open up the chat window, and some of you already have done that. Thank you. Put in your name, the position you're looking for. Give us your email, your LinkedIn address, phone number if you want to include that. Let us know what city you're watching from. I always am curious to see where people are watching from around the United States. Give us 2 or 3 target companies that you need help with. And then if you have companies that you have connections at, please let us know, because maybe you can help somebody else who's out there. And all this data will get put out on the chat that I put out tomorrow So everybody will get a copy of the information you're putting in. So we'll put 30 seconds on the clock to get started. All right, so now what we want to do now is everybody who's here in the room, if you want to come up, grab the microphone, and we'll let you all do your 30-second introductions, and then we'll get everybody who's online after that. So come on down, form a little line, so can see you on the camera.
Good morning. I'm Todd Haney. I'm a customer success and implementation specialist. I help companies do a better job with their customers and fix delicate problems. The contacts I need would be for Simpson Strong Tie and Motorola Solutions. I can help. I've got connections with various people through the Association for Talent Development, the Dallas chapter. My name is Todd Haney.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Jacob Dukes. I'm looking for financial analyst jobs. My target companies would be, I have connections at Lockheed Martin and Fidelity right now. I actually have contacts at Young and Associates Group. And again, my name is Jacob Dukes.
Thank you.
My name is Daniel Reisinger. I'm looking for jobs in either welding or welding education. I need contacts at either L3 Harris or Bell Helicopter. Again, my name is Daniel Reisinger.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Florence Hogan, and I'm looking for positions in market research, insights and strategy, competitive intelligence, market intelligence. And I'm looking for companies that are specifically in the insurance industry or life insurance, or any type of insurance industry, also financial services. I'm also very interested in companies that provide research. I'm interested in Ernst & Young, and Samsung, and any company that's a consulting agency. Again, and I may have a contact for Lockheed Martin. So again, my name is Florence Hogan.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mary Menser. I'm looking for positions in senior leadership. I was senior director in ERP software for professional services, project management office, that sort of thing. I am looking basically at everything in the ERP space. We've got Sage, Infor, company called Bryant Park, anything ERP implementation. And I know lots of people in ERP implementation. It's a big industry in a small world, but particularly the biggest companies are Oracle and Epicor. So my name is Mary Menser. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. My name is Daryl Barrett. I've got a background in program management as well as content management. I'm looking for a position in either, with Fidelity or Caterpillar. I'm looking at those two companies right now. Where I can help is I have background with hospitality, and I do have some background with some financial services. So look me up. Again, my name is Daryl Barrett.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Joy Makanga, and I am looking for positions in the nonprofit sector, mostly in development, project management, and digital storytelling. I need contacts at Make-A-Wish Foundation, American Heart Association, and East West Ministries. I have contacts at Greater Europe Mission. Again, my name is Joy Makanga. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, my name is Kashif Tahir, and I'm looking for IT executive leadership role, IT manager, IT supervisor, IT director. I'm open and flexible as far as companies are concerned.
However, my extensive background has been in healthcare domain, so prefer that. I do have contacts in my prior organizations such as HCL Tech and Wipro. And glad to be here. Again, my name is Kashif Tahir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Alejandra Duran. I'm looking for a senior internal auditor. Like him, I'm open to different companies. I have experience in retail, manufacturing, and software industries. And then, but I would like contacts at Essilor and Boeing. And I do have contacts at Lockheed Martin and Toyota. Again, my name is Alejandra Duran.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is John Hamer. I'm a senior technical project manager. I work with internal and external resources to build strong teams to deliver system solutions to companies to maximize their return on investment. I'm looking for positions as a project manager or materials manager in either the aerospace and defense, which I have extensive experience in, or telecom. I'm looking for contacts at RTX, Collins Aerospace, and a new one popped up at Cisco, which they said don't have jobs yet, but they're just posting to get a feel for who's out there. So if you have a contact at Cisco, I'd welcome that. Again, John Hamer, project manager. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Penn, like what you write with an extra N. Hoyt, Director of Marketing in the B2B space. I lead the teams that drive your leads that sales uses to close your deals. Looking for contact at Choice Digital. I have contacts at Deltec, as well as a lot of telecom and SaaS companies. Look me up on LinkedIn, and I'll be happy to connect you. Again, Penn Hoyt.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else here in the room? All right, let's go online. For everybody who's online right now, if you'll go down in your chat window and raise your hand so that way I know who to call on. And Matthew, we'll let you go first.
Sounds good. I'm Matthew Bianchin. I'm seeking career opportunities in business development. I've got contacts at Aramark and Pepsi. My target company this week is Sodexo. My name is Matthew Bianchin.
All right, Nikki.
Good morning. I am Nikki Duncan. First off, congratulations, Gregory and David. And who missed Mr. USAR's intro today? That was sad, wasn't it? And Joy, contact me, okay? I might have somebody for you. Anyway, I am Nikki Duncan. I am looking for remote, preferably chief of staff or senior director of operations type roles. I am open to pretty much any industry, and I'm happy to help anybody make any connections I can. I am Nikki Duncan.
Thank you. Miguel.
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, everyone. Miguel Castillo. I'm a global strategic finance leader who who transforms executive vision into profitable, high-performing organizations. I'm looking for a VP or a senior director in finance. Need contacts at Caterpillar and Raytheon, and have contacts at American Airlines. My name is Miguel Castillo.
Thank you. Mike.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mike Belzil. I'm a data analytics product leader. So I help business leaders ring their performance bell by converting data into dollars. So I'm seeking a director of digital or data product role based in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So I'm looking for contacts at companies like 7-Eleven, Keurig Dr. Pepper, Hershey, and Amazon. And I have contacts at Walmart, Epsilon, and Circana. So let's connect. If we're not connected, happy to help. My name is Mike Belzil.
Thank you. Brett Cooper.
Hey, good morning. Brett Cooper, adolescent medicine physician. I'll actually be starting a job next month with Aetna, but here to still learn from you all and make some connections until that time. I can help with contacts at Children's Health depending on the role, integrity marketing, and Joy. If you look up Christian Markham, it's Markham. He had come through this group and pit crew and actually landed a job at East West last month, I think. He's in IT, but he may be able to get you some contacts with people in the job search process. So I would look him up on LinkedIn. Brett Cooper.
Thank you. Brett announced his landing last week for those of you who were not with us last week. All right, Chandra.
Hello, my name is Chandra Thomas, and I'm looking for administrative support position. I don't have any target companies right now. Again, my name is Chandra Thomas, looking for administrative support position.
Mark Jermansky.
Yes, my name is Mark Chemansky. I'm a senior technical writer, information architect, and I have no target companies, but I'm looking for remote positions. And I have contacts at Motorola Solutions. My name is Mark Chemansky.
Thank you, William.
All right. Good morning, everybody. My name is William McLaughlin, currently seeking a business analyst role, and target companies include Cinemark and Dave & Buster's. Again, my name is William McLaughlin. Thank you very much, and happy Friday.
Thank you. Brian McGovern. Govern.
Good morning, everyone. I am Brian McGovern, and I'm looking for either HR coordinator or benefits coordinator position. I'm looking for contacts at Gateway Services, Vituity, Encore, and Keurig Dr. Pepper. And I have contacts at Mr. Cooper, Corn Ferry, and Hilton. And once more, my name is Brian McGovern. Thanks.
Thank you. Bindu.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm Bindu Chalapalli. I'm looking for Director of Data Engineering role. I need contacts at Fidelity and McKesson. I have contacts on the data front at Blue Cross Blue Shield. My name is Bindu Chalapalli.
Thank you. Tracy Harris.
Good morning. My name is Tracy Harris. I'm a senior search consultant at Thomas Edwards Group, located here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. We focus in accounting, finance, HR, and IT roles. Permanent contract and contract to hire. My name is Tracy Harris.
Thank you. Michelle.
Morning, everyone. This is Michelle Hawk. I have years of experience with accounts payable, or actually accounts receivable, cash posting. I've had some accounts payable. I've got some HR. I've got a lot of things. Anyhow, I'm looking for a position through a Pacific Dental, if anybody has a contact in there. I'm also got a certificate for medical billing and coding. So I have worked the last 3 years working for dental surgeons and handling as insurance verification and a cash poster. If anybody can help me on these contacts, it'd be helpful, because it seems like the recruiters that I've been with have not been contacting me back the last couple weeks. So I feel like I'm hanging again. Anyhow, thanks again, guys. This is Michelle Hawk.
Thank you. James Pence.
Good morning, everyone. My name is James Pence. I'm a client relationship manager or account manager, depending on the industry you're in. Just looking for a client-facing role to help anyone strengthen their client relationship. And I'm looking for someone maybe to help me in a target company is Workday. And I'd be happy to help any way I can. Feel free to look at any of my connections. And again, my name is James Pence. Thank you.
Thank you. John. Oh, Joan, I'm sorry.
I think next. Hi, everyone. I'm Joan Satera. I am looking for senior level communications roles in and around DFW. I need contacts at some more of the consumer focused companies. So Cinemark, KDP, AT&T, T-Mobile in particular, the Frisco office, if anyone knows folks there. I have contacts at both Frito-Lay, PepsiCo, and Caterpillar. And again, my name is Joan Satera.
Thank you, David.
Good morning. I'm David Turner. I'm an HR systems analyst specializing in Employee Central, SuccessFactors, security. I could use a contact at Buxton Consulting. I have contacts at PepsiCo. My name is David Turner.
Thank you, Verlissa.
Yes, good morning, everyone.
My name is Valisa Madden. I am in the DFW area as well. I'm looking for positions, preferably in manager or higher roles. So manager, senior manager, director, in internal audit, SOX, compliance, and my target companies include USA, CIAA, basically anything in healthcare or finance. And I have contacts at AT&T and at Grant Thornton. I put my contact information in the chat. Thank you. I'm Valisa Madden.
Thank you, Chris Holmes.
Good morning, everybody. And to those who have landed, congratulations. Very happy for you. I am Chris Holmes, and I am seeking a senior manager or director role in IT portfolio governance, software delivery. I was formerly in the airline industry, not wedded to staying in that. I can help with contacts at Southwest Airlines, American Airlines, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and EY. I am Chris Holmes.
Thank you, Kelsey.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kelsey Wise. I am looking for roles in learning and development, as well as communications and events and people experience in HR. My target companies this week are Pearson Learning. So if anyone has connections there, I'm kind of having a really hard time. I do have connections at FedEx Office. So if that applies to you, please reach out to me. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Chetan.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. I'm Chetan Rao. I'm a global CIO. I revitalize tired technology systems and teams. And currently, I'm seeking a position in a senior director or higher level position in IT applications. My background is in ERP, back office systems, as well as e-commerce systems and data analytics. I'm Chetan Rao.
Thank you, Rosina.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rosina Gallman, and I am your Career Tip of the Week host, so I'll be back in a few minutes. I'm looking for a position as a senior talent acquisition business partner, senior recruiter, or senior corporate recruiter. And I need contacts at a variety of different companies. I'm just kind of putting all of them in the chat. But basically, it would be Goldman Sachs, Deloitte, ADP, Colliers, Delta Dental, Unum Dental, MetLife, Cigna, Inspire Events, Ericsson, T-Mobile, TIAA Frisco, USAA, Huron Consulting, Hudson RPO, Wilson RPO, and HR Catalyst Consulting. Oh, I'm sorry, and Manpower Group Solutions, or any other opportunity for a senior talent acquisition business partner, senior corporate recruiter, or senior recruiter position. Thanks so much, and congratulations to all the landers.
All right. Anybody else online? Going once, going twice. All right. Job leads. Tracy, thank you for being with us today.
It's my pleasure. So as of recent, we just got a new senior accountant position on the permanent side. I actually just saw that come through. On the IT side, we have a procurement role with someone needing experience with Coupa. Software requirement is a must. A few contract roles that just came in, a senior payroll specialist, a staff accountant, and a senior accountant. We've got some different roles. But the last thing that I would share, and maybe Jeff and Walt and some of you guys have shared this, what I've been hearing so often lately from so many candidates is, well, people aren't hiring in the fourth quarter, right? But what's to say that they don't, right? I have a lot of clients who are hiring, so I wouldn't stop applying because you think that people aren't going to hire you, right? Because if everyone had that same mentality and they're all thinking that no one's doing any hiring, well, then you're the one that's continuing to apply, right? So maybe you get your resume in there. So that's just a little piece that I wanted to share, but yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you for being with us today. And Tracy's information will be in the chat window if you're interested in any of the positions that you're looking for. All right, time here to hear from the Interview Success Workshop. Walt Glass.
Good morning, everyone. It's good to see you. I can see you better. Before I start, I want to recognize Phil Esner in the back. Phil is a member of the vocal majority. If you've never heard that choral group, you have really missed something. They got a great show. The next show is going to be on the 18th, and guess where it'll be? It'll be at White's Chapel in South Lake. So if you haven't gotten tickets yet, jump out there and get those tickets. So Phil's in the back, up in the top row. He's just a joyful singer. He just loves singing. And so it's a great show. All right, I'm Walt Glass, and my targets are candidates who lack the skills and confidence for a successful hiring interview. So how do we do that? Well, we do that through selling ourselves. And what do we do in selling ourselves? Well, it's who we are, what we do, and how we help. And so it is a learning workshop, a learning interview, not a mock interview. All you have to do is come. You come as you are. You are where you are with your skills. We'll go through about 12 basic categories of questions. I have two people at a time. We interview each other. I take notes, and then we'll go through and we'll talk about selling as the second hour goes. So it's 9 to 11 Central on Zoom. Look me up on LinkedIn under Walt Glass. It'll give you details because you need to be registered to attend. And so register now and get in the queue for January. I'm booked because the rest of the year is short. Be glad to have you participate. So now we landed in an interview. Well, now what will we do? Well, we could call 1-800, oh my God, or just give practice interviewing a nod. My name is Walt Glass.
Thank you. Let's see here. Is anybody a PIC crew member? You want to talk? You want
to sell the pit crew?
Yeah, come on up here. And
here comes Penn.
Paul's not here today, so I have to have Penn and.
At least I don't have to follow Paul because that's a tough one. So, hi everyone, I'm Penn Hoyt. Again, on that, I'm one of the members of the PIT crew. I'm on one of the panels when they come on through. PIT crew stands for Practice Interview Team. And if you have not gone to it, you need to go to it. It helps you sit down, learn how to interview. It's a true interview situation. There'll be 2 to 3 panelists in front of you. You'll sit down. You'll be asked questions. It'll be the toughest interview you have ever had. I guarantee it. I've been through it twice, and I felt like came out of a ringer at the other end, but boy, is it fantastic. We meet on Wednesdays, 1 to 3 o'clock in this room for the first four Wednesdays?
First, second, third.
First, second, and third Wednesday are in person. They are here. On the fourth Wednesday, it is online to allow people who cannot make it to this area from outside of the area to be online. Do it. Come on in. You can sit in the back. Oh, it's always a peanut gallery we need to have that'll listen to what's going on. It's a great way to learn. Then you can also sign up and be a part of it. That's how you learn how to do that. Awesome opportunity. I highly, highly recommend doing it. It's fantastic to get on in. It does have a waiting list because there are a lot of people on it. Generally, there'll be 3 panelists per Wednesday. Get your name on the list now. You'll be put into a queue. You'll find out when it comes on through. People get hired. The queue moves quickly. So you want to get on it. You don't want to sign up for it the week before you have an interview because you're probably not going to get called to do the practice interview. There's just that many people going through, and it's that fantastic of a program. So I highly recommend it. Practice interview team. Todd, yes.
I was here yesterday. I believe the next Wednesday will be online. And there will be obviously Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. Not what they have.
Right. Yeah.
Thanks very much, Todd.
That next week is the third Wednesday, but they will be online only next week. So
there you go. But highly, people in here are nodding. But if you haven't been to it, come on, sit back, watch what's going on.
Yeah.
Waltz is a great class to take beforehand because it teaches you how to start doing the interview. But the practice interview team is a true practice interview. So thank you.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right. Career tip of the week. Good morning, Rosina. Hello, Rosina.
Sorry. Good morning, Jeff, and good morning again, everybody. All right. This week's career tip of the week is, so basically, I went back to the very beginning of the year for this particular repeat of a career tip of the week. And it is, here are the top 5 skills to learn in 2025. And this article is presented by Forbes. So the question, I guess, is, since we started off on January 3rd with this article, if you hadn't heard it, okay, well, you're hearing it for the first time now. We still have time to upskill our skills, but are we doing and are we planning to do the upskilling for these skills? So this article is by Jack Kelly. He's a senior contributor for Forbes. And so starting off, the evolving job market and the need for upskilling. The job market is undergoing a rapid transformation driven by technological advancements and shifting economic realities. Professionals across all industries must continuously adapt and acquire new skills to remain competitive. And this year presents a crucial opportunity for individuals to invest in their professional development by acquiring in-demand skills. So key drivers of the changing job market is digital transformation and automation. So for digital transformation, the rapid acceleration of digital technologies, including artificial intelligence, which is AI, cloud computing, and cybersecurity, has fundamentally altered how businesses operate and the skills that they require from the workforce. So, and then also for automation, the increasing automation of tasks driven by AI and machine learning is leading to both job displacement and the creation of new roles that require advanced technical skills. So, in-demand hard skills for the new year. Let's start with first, artificial intelligence and machine learning. AI and ML are rapidly transforming various industries with significant increase in demand for related skills. While AI may automate some jobs, it is also creating new roles and driving job growth across several sectors. And companies are actively investing in AI and expanding their workforce to integrate these technologies. The second skill would be upskilling and learning cloud computing. Cloud computing is experiencing explosive growth, with organizations increasingly mitigating their applications and workloads to the cloud. The rise of generative AI and the need for integrated platforms are further accelerating cloud adoption. And proficiency in cloud computing will be crucial for professionals seeking to stay relevant in the evolving job market. Third skill we need to learn is cybersecurity. Cybersecurity threats are accelerating or escalating, with cybercrime costs projected to reach staggering levels. A severe shortage of qualified cybersecurity professionals exists, creating a high demand for skilled individuals. And the rapid evolution of cyber threats necessitates continuous learning and adaptation within the cybersecurity field. The fourth skill that we need to have is data analysis. Businesses are increasingly relying on data to drive informed decisions, improve user satisfaction, and maintain a competitive advantage. Skills in data analysis, including data integrity, governance, and advanced data visualization, are highly sought after. And as organizations grapple with the challenges of data quality and governance, professionals with expertise in these areas will be in high demand. And the fifth skill, digital marketing. In today's digital world, businesses heavily rely on the online platforms to connect with their target audiences. And with significant growth in digital and spending, and the increasing importance of social media proficiency in digital marketing strategies, is crucial for career success. So in conclusion, the job market of the future will demand adaptability and a continuous learning mindset by proactively acquiring in-demand skills such as AI, cloud computing, cybersecurity, data analysis, and digital marketing. Professionals can position themselves for success in a rapidly evolving landscape. Investing in personal and professional development is essential to navigate this dynamic environment and thrive in the years to come. This again is the career tip of the week for this week is here are the top 5 skills to learn in 2025. And this is according to Forbes. Hope you guys enjoy this article. It'll be Jeff will provide it, and let's continue to keep on learning. We have time. We still have a couple more weeks in December. All right. Well, take care. Have a great Friday and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you.
Rosina, before you check out, which I know you're doing today, we should congratulate her son who's graduating from college today.
Yeah.
Congratulations to your son and congratulations to Mom for making that happen. And it's
Thank you.
the next step of his life.
Super excited. Yes, he's graduating with his associates in cybersecurity. And we've sat on several calls where all the calls have talked about companies are short on, and there's such a huge shortage in cybersecurity professionals. So I'm looking forward to internships or employment opportunities for him as well in this field. So thank you so much, Walt.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. Oops. Here. Today, whoops, went too far. Today for lunch, we're going to go to Mama's Pizza, 2130 West Parker Road. It's on Parker, a half block west of Custer. They've got a pizza buffet, a big salad bar, and the hot cinnamon rolls are the specialty at the end of the meal. So come join us. We'll take a hand count here to see who's going to join us before we leave here this afternoon. All right. If you want to receive today's materials, you'll get a copy of the speaker's presentation. You'll get a copy of the link to the YouTube channel so you can go back and watch today's presentation. You get a copy of the career tip of the week that Rosina just read, the copy of the Zoom chat, which I'll go through and clean up and condense it down to all the good stuff. If you want to make sure you get it for everybody who's in person, please make sure you check your name off on the roster. Or if you're brand new, make sure you filled out the little white slip of paper. And if it's legible, you'll get an invitation tomorrow. And if it's not legible and you don't hear from me tomorrow, you need to reach out to me. Okay. And for everybody online, if you want to be included in the to get all the information, please make sure your email address is in the chat someplace. You just have to put your name and the email address. That's all you need to do if you didn't fill out all the details. Here are the following people that I can't find because a lot of them gave me LinkedIn addresses, but on their LinkedIn address, they have no contact information. So I'm not really sure if they're looking for a job or not, or just trying to take up space. So if you know any of these people, or if any of you are online, please make sure you get your email address in the chat window. All right, it's time for our main event. It's not open forum. Sorry, that's the wrong slide. But I want to thank Nikki Duncan. Many of you don't know, Nikki's been helping me out by booking speakers. She took over from Walt Glass a couple months ago, and Nikki's going to introduce our speaker.
Good morning. So today I'm excited. I get to bring to you Tina Cella. Tina and I connected on LinkedIn and I stalk her posts because it's kind of brilliant. Tina is the founder of Star Compass Careers and a senior recruiter at Cresta. And for those of you in the room and you don't know it, she did say that she is working at Cresta. The website is cresta.ai, and they are hiring like crazy. So check out her website. They are a customer experience platform that helps companies unlock expertise with real-time AI. Christina has spent her career helping high-growth startups hire and scale, from being one of the first USA talent hires at 6 Sense, where they grew from 150 to 1,300 plus, to now partnering with Cresta's leaders to build world-class go-to-market and customer teams. Through Star Compass, she also coached She also coaches job seekers navigating career transitions, blending AI tools with human strategy to make searching smarter and more intentional. Her focus is simple, helping people and companies find their best fit faster. So take it away, Tina.
Hi, I'm Tina Cella. So happy to be here. Thank you so much for the beautiful introduction, and I will get right into it and see if I can. The hardest part is always the screen share, y'all. Okay, there we go. Let me see if I can go into presentation mode here. All right. So this is a presentation on how to kind of use AI as your career co-pilot. I think the core piece is that it should never replace you, kind of like what I do at Cresta, where the concept is optimizing humans in real time. That's what AI should do for you, help you optimize your story, tell it more clearly, to help you land a job faster and a job you actually want too. So yes, as the wonderful introduction said, I'm founder of Star Compass Careers, spent years as a talent matchmaker, career strategist, and love helping job seekers navigate what is a very difficult market. I think that the rules of the game have changed drastically, right? And love helping people keep up and find a company that works for them, and also help a company find a candidate that is going to accelerate their growth as well. So I'm going to show you today how you can use AI to be your secret weapon in landing the job you deserve. Move that around. So yes, AI is revolutionizing everything. And honestly, sometimes I feel like it's almost created a little bit of a human connection crisis because we're all using it so much. And sometimes everything is starting to look and sound the same. So I think the key piece of AI is that you maintain your story and yourself. So today I'm going to share with you a few actionable AI strategies that you can actually implement and do today or this week or sometime before the end of the year. So the first thing is like if you're going to use AI, and you don't have to buy like these crazy expensive tools, all you need to really do is pay the 20 bucks a month for ChatGPT or Gemini or one of those things, right? The first thing is training it to sound like you, right? You want to use it for follow-up. You want to use it to help you interview, all of these different things. But first you need to make it understand who you are. So if you go into ChatGPT, there's actually like a train the brain section, right? So you can put in your values, what your job search you're looking for, who you are. So the tone starts to sound like you, and it's it doesn't sound like generic AI, because that people want to talk to people at the end of the day. So tell your story. So AI works effectively when trained with details, context about your experience, target roles, all of those kinds of things. So here's some examples. So you got to get away from like, help me write a resume, like that's not really going to do it, right? So you need to be really strategic with your prompts. It's kind of funny because you can actually use ChatGPT to help you create a prompt for ChatGPT. So, I mean, you don't actually have to like think of these prompts yourself. You can be like, I'm a job seeker. I need a strategic prompt. Help me create it. And then you use that. So an example is optimize my product management resume for fintech companies that value innovation, highlight my experience launching 3 payment products that increase revenue by 20%. So of course, like then AI will hallucinate sometimes and make things up. So you always got to check it for accuracy and make sure it's actually still telling your story. But at the end of the day, like make sure you're using really strategic prompts. I also like kind of go back and forth with it. Like I'm like, hey, like this still sounds generic and it doesn't sound like me, or make a different start, like especially with a cover letter. Every cover letter starts with, I am applying to this. What if you started with, I read about this new innovation or this thing that your company is doing, and that just like so made me think that this could be a great match, something like that. So something different, something that they're not getting every day. So these are examples of prompts. Another one, like I'm interviewing for a CS role or customer success role at a B2B SaaS company, create practice questions focused on client retention, upselling, handling difficult customer situations. So kind of like what you're doing in real time with that great interview program that you guys have, you can try to have AI help you to some degree to get there as well. Of course, it's always going to be better when you do it live with actual humans, and that's great as well. But, like we want to practice constantly, and AI is a really easy thing that we can do all the time. So this is strategic prompting, but basically the quality of your results is directly proportional to the quality of your prompts. So the better your prompts, the better your results will be. Okay, so now let's go into some things that you can actually do to sell yourself, because that's what the job search is. You are selling and marketing yourself, right? At the end of the day. So let's talk about your LinkedIn. That is your storefront. That is free real estate that you get to market you and show why you are the right person and how you are different from every other person that holds the same job title as you. Because at the end of the day, like it's all about standing out and differentiating yourself and knowing your specific ROI. Like with even with the CSM, right? Like what do? They upsell, they retain clients. But how are you different? Like what is it about you that's different? And how can you then implement that and show it in your LinkedIn and come to different taglines and things like that? So think about it like this. Your LinkedIn should have specific metrics, right? So quantify achievements with data, points that demonstrate impact. This is black and white. Like if you don't have numbers, people often assume you didn't hit your numbers, especially if you're talking about sales, CS roles, or things like that. Yeah, other kinds of roles, metrics aren't as clear, right? But the more you can make it like black and white that you were successful, that is always something that recruiters love to see. Personally, I'm like, okay, great, you made it easy for me. And especially on resumes too, right? Like the more you use metrics, the easier you make it for them to know that this is someone that has been successful and that I should talk to. And I get sometimes like companies for whatever reason, like when I was first at 6 Sense, they didn't have metrics, like, right? So, but I know I hired a ton of people, right? So don't be afraid to guess. I'm not saying lie, of course, but be accurate, an accurate representation of what you actually know you did accomplish. Human voice. So maintain authentic personality and avoid generic AI generated content, right? People want to talk to people. You have to tell your story. The about section is a great opportunity to do that. I always say start with like, hey, this is my why. Like this is why I do what I do. This is why I'm different. Then show like proof, achievements. LinkedIn does not have a specific section for that, but you can put it in your about section and make it cool and like skimmable so that it's easy for people to digest and read, right? And then also just keep the story strong, so your why, the metrics, and always end it, of course, with a call to action, especially when you're on job search, meaning I'm open to connecting. This is what I'm looking for. Making it easier and easier for people to know what you want so that they feel comfortable reaching out to you, that it's going to be a fit. Aligned with target. So tailor profile desired roles or ideal. I mean, that's if you're a recruiter, but target it to what you actually want to do. Sometimes like there are generalists out there, right? Like you've done 25 things, right? But that's very hard for recruiters and for hiring managers to understand then what you really want to do. Like, so if you can tailor it towards the direction you want to go in, not just like what you've done, but like what you want to do and what you want to focus on, it makes it much easier and it makes your story clear. Results focus, this goes back to metrics, right? But just think about outcomes. What did you accomplish? How did you, when you left that job, it was a better place than when you came in, right? That's what people want to understand and see because then they can see the picture of how you're going to do it again for their company. Position for growth, and this goes back to what I just said, but show trajectory potential, not just past performance. I think we're in a little bit of a job market, right, where it's plug and play. Companies want exactly what they need on paper. They want somebody that's been doing exactly that, which makes it hard for people to grow in this market a little bit, to move into a different thing. But if you can try to position your LinkedIn around showing that already growth and how you're ready for that next step, excuse me, I'm talk a lot, so apparently losing my voice. But that is always something that is going to, if you can paint the picture, you're painting this picture, you're telling your story and you're showing them, this is the picture of what I can do for you. But the clearer that is in your marketing of yourself through your LinkedIn and your resume, the easier it is for them to be, I want to talk to this person. Okay, so you can use the SHARP framework to optimize your LinkedIn, attract recruiters and hiring managers who are looking for someone just like you. Mock interviews. So this goes back to using AI to interview yourself. There are actually tools with like Google has one, Google Interview, where you can do that, but you can also just use ChatGPT, right? Have it create personalized practice. So customize mock interviews, put the job description in there, right? Be like, come up with just like you were saying, you want it to be you want the practice to be the hardest, right? So be like, come up with the hardest questions that you can think of from this job description, right? And any other context you can provide it. Because again, the more context you provide it, the better it's going to be. I would even plug in like the company's description, right? Like things like that. The more data you give it, the better these mock interviews are going to be. And of course, like you could go into the interview and they could ask you none of those hard questions, right? But at least you are prepared if you get the hardest ones. And usually then when I do this with clients, they go into the interview and they're like, you were so much harder. And that's what I want, right? Because you're preparing them for the most difficult situation, which usually ends up not being quite as hard as that. So that's a great thing to do. And then this market, it's about like what we're doing here, networking, making connections, leveraging relationships. That is what it's really about. Multi-threading your way in. Like I hire a lot for customer success, and what they do all day when they're breaking into accounts, they five to 10 contacts within that account, right? And they reach out to all of them, and they don't just say, hey, I want your help. They come up with, like, they do research, they look at their profiles, and then they come up with a message that's going to attract attention instead of just be like the 99 other ones that land in their inbox every day. So versus I saw your profile and want to connect, I noticed your team launched the new analytics dashboard that increased client. I mean, you probably won't have that metric, but you get my point. You did some research. You noticed they launched a new feature. As someone who's led similar initiatives, I'd love to learn more about your approach, blah, blah, blah. Like things like that work. Like I've seen them work in real time, right? Other things that really, really work is oftentimes like, people don't want to reach out to the head of the department that they're applying to. They feel like it's icky and awkward and like, but guys, like the goal is to get you want them to know who you are before you come up in an internal conversation. You're trying to make sure that you are on their radar. You're not asking for anything. Don't ask for a call, don't ask for a favor, just be like, hey, I'm in the process, really excited about what I'm seeing, talking to the recruiter soon, or applied in, hope to talk to you soon, or hope to talk to you when the timing is right, something like that, right? That happens so many times, like especially back at 6sense when I was overseeing CS hiring, where the head of customer success would be like, someone went to the trouble to find me on LinkedIn, reached out to me, wrote a message. She never responded to them. She told me to prioritize their application though. And that's the other thing about networking. Just because you don't get a response, it doesn't mean it didn't work. It doesn't mean it didn't open a door somewhere, right? So people get this like rejection sensitivity with networking. They're like, I'm reaching out to all these people, no one's getting back to me, nobody loves me, blah, 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 right? And it's also a numbers game, y'all. Like you have to do this many, many times often for it to work. And it's hard. It is a lot of work, but it's probably harder than any actual job. So there's that, right? And ultimately, if you keep doing it, it does work. I've seen it over and over and over again with clients. But it's a sales cycle too. So it's quality plus quantity, which is why it's hard, right? You can't just, generically spray people. You have to be very intentional about it, and you have to make them understand that you actually know what you're talking about, right? So yes. So it helps you research companies and contacts. That's another thing, ChatGPT, like there's no excuse for showing up to an interview anymore and not knowing what the damn company does. It literally takes 2 minutes with ChatGPT to understand things like that, right? So use the AI to accelerate your research, right? But also stay organized because that's a big piece of it too. Okay, so talking of target company lists, that's been a big topic in this entire get together. And AI can be great for that. Yes, I think somebody dropped a link of something specific that helps you with that, but you can use ChatGPT, right? Like you don't have to use like a tool that's made for it. So based on your skills, based on your career goals, based on industry trends, companies that are actively hiring, like for example, Cresta right now, we are anticipating growing from 400 to 800 people by next year. We have 30, I don't even know how many openings, probably over 100 openings right now. And we are not slowing down for this holiday season. So that was a really great point too. Some people will slow down, candidates. Like, so this is a window, like for candidates that are going to keep going to get seen because it's going to be slower. A lot of other people are just going to stop their search for the holidays, right? So it really truly is a window, but doing it with intention. So identify companies with active hiring needs, match with organizations aligned to your values. This job search is also about alignment, right? So the market is so flooded with top talent. You have to do something beyond just being aligned with the role. Are you aligned? Like, for example, Cresta has operating principles. One is like do too much, or have the courage to be disliked. So how can you align yourself in addition to the actual role with the company's values, like things like that? Discover companies on upward career trajectory. Like, one thing too is just because a company isn't hiring right now, if they just raised funding, what's going to happen next? They're pulling that hiring trigger. You reach out to a founder or somebody that you just saw they're raising funding, and you're like, I know you're going to have this need. I would love to get my name in early. Those kinds of things really, really work. There's a guy, if you're looking for tech jobs or anything in the tech realm, like I know somebody was mentioning Workday. There's a guy, Kyle Thomas, that I follow on LinkedIn that's constantly posting all the companies that just got funding and either have pulled the hiring trigger or haven't, but will be doing that soon. So that is a great way to start networking in early before it gets flooded, before there's 10,000 applications for a role. There you go. And then the other thing is always like think about too, like you want this to be a long-term fit, guys. And I know sometimes when you're on a job search, it feels a little bit like a scramble, but prioritize organizations. Like for example, like I talked to a guy the other day that worked for a company for only 3 months because it wasn't clear going in that the insurance coverage was going to work for his family, right? So make sure you understand things like that too. And like also try to talk to people outside the interview process for multiple reasons. Like, yes, get yourself prepared and all of that. But also, you should be interviewing these companies just as much as they're interviewing you. And the best companies want to see that. They want to see that you're being picky, right? So if you talk to somebody outside of interview process, it really gives you not only a lens into the company and how to interview well there, but is this a place I even actually want to be? Like, is this actually the right fit for me? Cool. And then you can use it like provide a list of fintech companies expanding their product in North America. That would be a good prompt. Okay, cool. So I've given you a lot of different things you can do. And just start slow. You know, like you can just pick 3 AI prompts from today and test them in your job search, or not those exact prompts, of course, but like ones that make sense for the jobs that you're going after. Optimize one section of your LinkedIn profile using Sharp. My favorite one, because the biggest thing that's seen is the tagline, right? So that's what makes people decide if they even want to click into your profile. Does it just say customer success manager, or what? For one guy I worked with, we got to I drive revenue through relationships, right? Something different. I actually took a LinkedIn analytics class not too long ago, and they're constantly changing the algorithm. But what was working then for the tagline is a formula. So one is like your value, your ROI, how you want to say that. You can say it in an I statement, which I think holds a lot of power. Like I drive revenue through relationships. I help people navigate a crazy job market, things like that. Or you can just say it in a different way, but something that demonstrates how you are uniquely different from other people that hold your job title. And then the job titles that you want to turn up for, of course, because you want to turn up in the searches. So customer success manager, account manager, things like that. And then thirdly, something different and about you, something that gives you a personality. And like, I don't know, dog lover. It doesn't have to be personal. It can still stay in the professional realm. Like Swiss Army knife of making calm out of chaos, whatever it is, but something that's like gives you a personality. Because at the end of the day, like especially with all the AI flooding everywhere, people still they want to hire people, and they want to hire people they like and people they want to work with. Um, so yeah, that is that. And then there are lots of other things you can implement. You can also start, we're in a very data-driven world. So sometimes I tell it, see what works, start tracking your progress. What works? Like how many people did I reach out to? How many people got back to me? How much did that lead to interviews, right? Things like that. Starts to like give you an idea of what's working well, and you lean into that. What's not working as well, mass applying, probably not working as well. Maybe don't do that as much. Things like that. Yeah, and that is the overview, and I'm open to any questions or thoughts. But thank you.
Questions? Anybody have questions? I'll pass the mic around. Okay, couple hands up here.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for doing this. My name is Mary Mincer, and I had a question about the headline, because right now mine has keywords for my certifications or things like that. Is it? I'm just wondering where the best place to put those is. If it's not in the headline, should it go in the about section or that kind of thing? Just where does the buzzwords, whatever, go?
Certifications. I mean, like if you're like, as far as like recruiters, when we search on LinkedIn Recruiter, if it's in your profile at all, like it'll turn up. If we search that, like it'll still turn up. I think it's like if you're going after things that's required for, I would put it in your tagline somewhere, to make it really obvious and apparent. If it's like just a little too much there, then you can also just put it in your about section. But I guess it would depend on what else you have in your tagline too. And like we don't want it, mine's a little over the top, but typically, keep them somewhat streamlined.
Hi, this is Phil Elsner. I have a question about the guy that you referred to a few minutes ago. Had a job for 3 months and that didn't work out. Part of his reason for leaving, I think you said, was that the insurance was not going to work for his family.
Yeah.
With all the chaos in the government right now, and we don't know what's going to happen, what's the right kind of timing to be sure that we don't fall in the same kind of trap that guy did?
I mean, I think it's just doing as much, like for him, it was misrepresented. So like there's not like much you can do to avoid that part, but like as much research as you can, like talking, like making it, if the benefits package is unclear, asking to talk to somebody in HR, before you actually sign the offer letter, right? So just doing as much research up front as you can. I think is just being as clear as you can going in on what they actually do offer. But you know, like you can't avoid it if somebody's going to misrepresent it, but I don't think that's the norm either.
Tina, question. Thank you for all these insights. With the AI content, did you share it with job seekers? Any watch outs? You hear more and more about how ATS systems or HR systems will screen out AI content. Is there any kind of, watch outs or tips and tricks in navigating that?
Read your damn resume. Like that, like honestly, yes, AI, there's no that I know of, I've used Greenhouse, I use Lever. They're not kicking out resumes yet for AI content, but like as a recruiter looks at it, if it's obvious, like if it's obvious, it looks like it's all AI, we have a little bit of doubt going in. And then like I went on a call with one guy the other day and I'm like, okay, so tell me about Google Dialogflow, which was on his resume. And he goes, oh, I had a ChatGPT write my resume and they were a little overly optimistic, right? So like just make sure you understand what's on there, I think is the bigger thing with using AI with your resume, right? And that you can speak to everything on there confidently. And then like too, like if you're, for one of my roles, we have questions, application questions that you have to answer, right? Don't just put it into AI and then like slam it in there. Like make it you. It's editing it. It's talking back to it. It's making sure you understand what the AI is saying, I think is the bigger part. There are certain things that are like have become like AI giveaways for say like dashes, which kind of annoys me because I used to use those in writing all the time and now apparently everyone thinks that's all AI. But so like certain things like that, I've started to be like, okay, that's AI. And they're very verbose. AI is incredibly verbose and repetitive and all this. It's more just like working with it, making you, going back to like the training the brain, right? You'll get away from a lot of those. You'll start to get less and less of those AI giveaways if you do a good job in the beginning, setting it up for success. But you still always have to review it and read it and work with it. It's going back to the co-pilot concept. It's not replacing you. So just make sure you understand what it's written, basically.
I have a question in regard. You mentioned Kyle Thomas was posting companies who get funding. What company is he with? So if I wanted to search him on LinkedIn.
Yeah. So he was one of the early people at Uber back in the day, and he owns a company called Early, which is a startup job search accelerator that is incredibly expensive. So I'm not recommending his program necessarily, but the content he posts is absolute gold, like absolute gold. He does target company lists. I think he has PitchBook data that he uses for that, but he also posts like insanely solid job search advice, like how to, for example, break into cold. Like he had a success story the other day of a guy that he worked with that basically did what I just said. Saw that a company had just got funding, reached out to the founder, showed his value. They started having a conversation, and before the job was even posted, the guy had the job.
How do you address job gaps on LinkedIn?
So there are multiple ways to go about that. Like I have people do career break where I focused on travel, I focused on learning this skill or learning that skill. I think it's like you were doing something is like the best way to address them. And be honest. I think at the end of the day, like this market is nuts. We all understand like with after COVID how crazy it all got. So I think people are more forgiving. But have a story. It's also knowing the story. On LinkedIn, it's like, like you can do what I just said, like show what you were doing, show what value you were adding to yourself. So you're going to be a better employer down the line. And then when you actually have the opportunity to share your story, just make sure it makes sense. I think that's the biggest thing. Like I don't throw people out for gaps unless it's like really like, and if they have a solid story and it makes sense.
How big a gap should you go and put an explanation in for a career break? I mean, a couple months, not a big deal, but is there, 6 months to a year? I mean, at what point do you go and load something like that?
I mean, it's a bit of a personal choice, right? At the end of the day. But I think that like 1 to 2 months, people understand. I think if it goes beyond that, like I think they want to see that you were doing something would be my best advice there.
Okay. Okay, another question in the back here.
Okay. Well, so just to elaborate on that 1 to 2 months that you're looking, but then it goes into the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth month, but you're still looking. Are you saying that you actually, when you're saying that you need to actually be doing something, what is it exactly that you mean doing something? That you say take on maybe some type of retail job because you could get that real quick, but it's not your field. So is that what you mean by doing something? Or do you mean maybe taking some classes or upskilling? Can you elaborate?
Yeah, it can be any of the above, like fitness, like when I left Six Sense, I had a career gap. I went to Bali for a month and did the yoga teacher training, right? It can be, one of my ex-boss traveled to Europe, but if you don't, you're not doing those things, you're just taking classes or you're, even if it's like you're taking care of your kids, like just something that, I mean, that one's can be a little dicier, but like in general, just something that shows that you're continuously improving yourself and what that looks like can be different for each person. Um, but just that you're, putting in the effort, I think is the goal. They want to see that you're putting in the effort.
I have a question. It's kind of around the Glassdoor. I know you talked about talking to people outside of the job interview process to find out things about the company.
Yeah.
Scrolling Glassdoor, I mean, really, it's a lot of people who sound like they're just aggravated, upset at their particular job situation. So I don't really put a whole lot of effort or emphasis into some of the postings. But when you say talk to someone outside of the job interview process, do you mean within the company or maybe someone who may be on the team? What exactly did you mean by that?
Any of the above. Like, honestly, like the best intel you're going to get is somebody on the same team as you. Because even within companies, there are different cultures within different departments, right? So if you can get somebody outside the process that's on the same team, that's great. But like somebody that works with that team closely or somebody that just left the company, really, LinkedIn is your green field, like you can do with it what you want. Like, so you have the ability to reach out to anyone you want. So it's more like and also like what's going to give me the best intel? The best intel on how to interview well would obviously be somebody that reports into the same person that you would potentially be reporting into, right? So if you can get them on a call, that's probably going to give you the most advice as far as how to interview well. But that might not give you the most advice as far as like if they, maybe they're having a great experience, but like if you talk to people that maybe have just left, maybe they tell you things that that person didn't tell you because there's a reason they left, right? So I would say all of like it's really a green field, and you just kind of think about it like what strategically is going to get me the most information that's going to be the most valuable to me in my job search, and go from there.
Anybody else? Anybody online questions? I'm not at the computer to see. No, nobody's raised their hand. Any other questions from anybody?
Yes, I have a question.
Go ahead.
This is Valisa. So you actually touched on this when you were talking. I've noticed during my search that companies are being extremely particular. Like they're looking for specific certifications or they will not speak with you. They're looking for being in the exact same vertical. Sometimes even you have the certification, you are in the vertical, but you haven't used a specific software. And they're like, well, sorry, we can't talk to you. Even though obviously other softwares do the same thing and it would just be a matter of learning, click this button. But I've seen them being like very rigid. So do you have any advice in terms of how you can, like they literally will not even have a conversation. So how to just kind of somehow break through that?
Yeah. I mean, it goes back to we're in a plug and play market, and hiring managers think they can get exactly down to the tiniest detail what they want on paper. So that's what they're going to go after because they think that person's going to be able to come in and have the most immediate impact, right? So sometimes it's thinking about like a Cresta, for example, we're looking to double in size over the next year. They don't feel like they have the time to train anyone even on the smallest things, which is not the way that I think is right, but it's the reality. But if you're talking about a 50-person company, they might have a different mindset too, right? Because maybe they can't get the person that has exactly on paper, right? So it's like thinking about where people are going to be more flexible. Because right now, some companies are just not going to be flexible. That's just the way it is. They're going to demand all those little details. The other thing you can do is referrals hold power, right? So people might look past one little thing if you're referred in by somebody that they trust, right? So leveraging your network again. And if you don't have those connections, it's like being a BDR. You have to create them. Cold outreach. I know it's hard, but it's doable. You can get people, and especially if you're looking for something locally, try to get, you guys meet each other all the time, like coffee chat, like try to meet someone in person, really make them your advocate so they understand your experience. A lot of people try to get referred in, but they don't give the person power to refer them. They just throw them a resume. And that's not going to do the job in this market, especially not if there's a gap on that resume. They need to know your story. They need to be able to articulate it to the hiring manager and say, this is somebody that you need to talk to, despite this little thing, right? But how do you create that? You have to, it's relationships. You have to form those relationships in order to do that. But if, if you're gonna just applying, I would think about companies that might be more flexible and not as rigid, because companies that are at this kind of growth scheme like Cresta, they're going to be rigid right now just because the market allows them to get that. But that might shift. When I first was at 6 Sense, it was a candidate-driven market. It will shift. Things are cyclical. It's a crazy market. But like when I was first at 6 Sense, it was a candidate-driven market. I hired a girl that was selling furniture and she was our top performing salesperson the next year. That would never happen right now. I wouldn't, like when I got hired at 6 Sense in 2019, I had no tech recruiting experience. I would never have gotten hired in this market, not in a freaking million years, right? I killed it. I did a great job, obviously, and I'm excelling, but like I wouldn't have been looked at, And the other thing is you have to know it's not about you. It's really not, y'all. It's like, I know it feels like our jobs are such a part of our lives that it hurts when we feel rejected and like somebody doesn't want us. But it's you have to let go of that, because at the end of the day, like I have faith that you keep going and the right thing will land. I've lived it. I've lived it with myself. I've lived it with my clients. It takes time. It takes perseverance. It takes knowing your own worth too. But yeah, I went on a tangent there. So I hope that answered your question.
All right, Michelle, I see
It does. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yes, I've noticed lately during my interviewing that the salary caps, the companies are stronger on the salary caps now on the departments. That I've had a recruiter telling me to go mid-range between their ranges, because apparently once you hit salary cap, they want to lay you off again.
I mean, I think that like that's not something we are not at Cresta, like we have a policy where we don't even want to eliminate people, even if their comps above our ranges, because we're looking to hire top talent. Right. So I really think that's like how the companies are thinking about it. Like honestly, companies that are thinking about it like that way, I mean, it's, like it's a little unattractive as a company to think about it, because at the end of the day, like if they're really looking, they should be paying you it's hard because I know it's a tough market and I know people are afraid to eliminate themselves with comp. I get it all the time when I'm on calls. People don't even want to give me a number anymore because they don't want to eliminate themselves.
Because I found that I've been put on the do not rehire list because I have met the salary cap again with this last company.
I mean, that feels like the company's problem, like, and maybe look elsewhere. Like that's just strange to me. I mean, yeah, I would explore other companies that are not doing that personally.
Yeah, because I don't believe in the ageism thing. I think ageism really is you've just got a lot of experience they don't want to pay for.
And there's a ton of that going on. Like I see it all. I have one of my best friends in the world is an amazing talent acquisition leader. She's been head of HR at companies, all of this. She can't even get a contract recruiting job right now.
Same here.
And it's sick. It's really sickening, honestly, but it's like, it's the reality. So you just have to keep going because it's like, what else are you going to do? Like it's their fault. That is them, not you. Like ageism like is it's just the wrong way of thinking about it because it brings so much value, right? It brings so much diversity of ideas and all of these different things, people that of all different walks of life, of all different age ranges, of all different colors, of all different thought processes. That's what a company should want, right? And if they're not thinking like that, but it's very prevalent in tech, especially these younger startups, right? Where no one's over 40, it feels like a lot of the time, right? So I think I would focus on companies that are maybe going to give you a chance, right? So looking at their dynamic already, are there people of wide ages and ranges and all of those things, right? Like I would look at companies like that, because obviously they're not thinking like that.
I think at one point AARP used to have a list of companies that were that looked favorably among people over 55. So that may be some place to go and look at.
Yeah, or use chat, do some AI research. What are companies that are treating, that value people of different age ranges and value the wisdom that that brings, right? So yeah, I would do some research on that and start, being very intentional and focusing. Just strong culture overall. Like companies with strong culture are going to have people of all different, like Cresta has people of all different age ranges.
I mean, what I'm seeing is like I'm helpful because I have experiences in several departments, and so you may not exactly. I spotted your video forever. You have not exactly getting paid for all your experiences, but you can cross train and you can help to build a department as a whole.
Yeah, I would like one advice thing is like it's really hard if it's like you've got multiple things that I would like try to prioritize like your main ROI on your LinkedIn to make it clear like the best thing you're good at, just so people, because I think if people see like two different job titles on public people's LinkedIn, they get confused a little bit, right? And like we just want to get you seen and get you in front of the people, right? So like focusing it a little bit more, I think can be very helpful with like just getting you those calls and getting you those first screens, right? And then in those calls, you can talk about how like, yeah, that's my best thing that I'm good at, but like I also can add value here, 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 and here, right? But like just in the beginning, you want them to understand like the job that they're trying to hire for is the thing that you are the strongest at.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, hold on.
Hi, Christina. This has been awesome. I have a question. Are you open for us connecting with you on LinkedIn?
Oh, of course. I would love that.
And then also, one of the challenges I have is that I just have the regular LinkedIn, so you only have like 5
Yeah.
message. So how is it best to connect with you if we don't have that capability to send a message?
I think if you just press like connect, I'll get the connections request. And then I believe once you're connected, you can send me as many messages as you want. I don't think that applies anymore.
Okay, thank you. So I'll just send a connection request and you'll accept it without a
I
message.
respond to I'm constant. I live on LinkedIn. It should be my return address actually. So I'll definitely see it.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, this is Phil again. I'm noticing that the last conversation went to ageism as the topic. Should we continue to try as hard as we can, especially if we're not spring chickens, to try to hide our ages and just let our experience do all the talking? And is it possible for us to avoid a video interview with them down the road?
Okay, so like resumes, there's no reason for you to have 40 years or 30 years of experience on a resume. Resume should always go back only 10 years, regardless, unless of course there's something from a job that you're applying to that you need to pull from prior experience, and then you put it in like a prior experience section and you don't need to put like dates. You just put like the experience, right? So that's one way that like at least in the screening process, like they're not able to, and you don't put the year you graduated, like you can just put the degree, right? As far as avoiding a video call, like you have to work for these people. So I don't know that that's like long term going to be beneficial. Like they have to know who you are and you want to connect with them, right? Like people want to hire people and you want to enjoy the work that you do. And like I think interview processes go much more smoothly. And like it's better to have that, if you can do person, that's great. But like face to face, I think is important, like just for that connection. Because the most important thing when you work for anyone is who's your manager, who's your boss, and like how are they going to treat you? Do you have psychological safety in your job, right? And like I think you need to have that face to face connection to decipher those things. And at that point too, it's like we don't want to hide who we are. We just want to avoid bias in the beginning, right?
Right.
And like with your LinkedIn too, you can do. I don't think like this is the reality. Like I don't like want people to try to lie and change the reality, right? I just want you to avoid bias in the beginning and then be able to tell your story and articulate in a way that like makes it so clear that you're the perfect match or the right match for that job. So that's what you can do on the resume. I think avoiding video interviews I would not do. I would still do them. But just, kind of try to keep articulating your value along the way and like going after places again that are going to give you that chance, I think will make it a much smoother process as well.
Well, it's just like on my resume, I've got 15 years of accounts receivable, but I've had accounts payable prior to those 15 years. So on my resume, I put my accounts payable on there, but I don't put a date range on there.
There you go. Perfect.
It used to be one of the things we used to teach a while back was that if you were applying for something in the government said do not place any kind of a photo of yourself, your image or likeness
Yes.
there, because the government is under, or at least was under stricter controls not to do age bias or race bias or ethnicity bias. I don't know if that still exists out there or not.
I say no to pictures on resume. There's just, unless you're applying to be an actor or a model, in which case it's relevant, there's no need for your picture on your resume. It invites bias.
I think in the last 18 years of me doing this, that I only know of one person who got a job with the U.S. government, and he said no interview. They didn't even interview him. They strictly hired him off his resume. Wasn't any in-person interviewing at all.
That's crazy.
This is Walt, and I have a comment. If they are going to be biased against you, I'd rather find it out early so I don't spend a lot of wasted time getting to the point when they do decide it's bias, and so go elsewhere.
Yeah, yeah, but I still think like having like resumes, you just don't want to overwhelm people too. You know, like you're exactly right, and you'll find that out like the second you get on a call or you like do a screen. But like with resumes, it's also just like making it skimmable, making it easy to digest, and not overwhelming people with your entire everything you've ever done in the world. It should be focused to like what the job is actually requiring. But you're exactly right. Like you don't want to work for somebody that's going to be biased anyways, right? Just like a lot of these things, like what you don't want to work for somebody where you have to hide who you are every day. Like you want a happy life. Happy work, you know, they say happy wife, happy life. Well, happy work, happy life, you know, like for real. Like this is 90% of our lives, oftentimes, right? So like don't go after jobs you don't want to. Like that's a big thing. I know sometimes when you don't have a job, it feels like you're desperate. But like unless you're Angelina Jolie, it's eventually going to come through that you don't like this job. And like then when the times get cut, if they're going to cut people, you know, like if you don't like a job, you probably are not doing as well at the job. You're probably not putting as much effort in, and then you might be the first person up. So go after jobs you actually want. That also makes the process a lot more because you're naturally excited, and that naturally comes through too, right? And that excitement also, assuming it's a fit, gets them excited, you know? So that's another little tidbit of advice. Go after jobs you want.
Well, same thing on my medical billing certificate that I just recently got 4 years ago. That was book work. It wasn't software work. So I'm having fun with the position I was interviewing with yesterday because I don't have current billing experience, but I have a billing certificate. So I think I'm on the out on that position too right now.
Yeah. Well, it's just continuing to go, you know, and finding the more aligned you can find with these roles. And then again, I think it's great advice looking for companies that are just diverse, evaluate, have like diversity departments, you know, like I'm sure there are definitely companies that are still, I know that it's a little bit of a interesting topic considering the climate in the government, but personally, companies are still like Cresta still prioritizes. We want to hire diverse groups because we're a global company. We want those global ideas, and ideas from people that, you know, have done it before, or have wisdom from their past, right?
One quick question again. Thanks very much for this very informative presentation. I appreciate your time.
Of course.
You mentioned something about an AI account or a ChatGPT account that's $20 a month. So
Yeah.
I have a free account, and as long as I log in with my name and password, it pretty much lets me do what I want to do. So could you expound on the benefits or what
Yeah.
account you're talking about?
It's just better AI. It's like I think it's pro and the premium or whatever. It's just slightly better. It's more streamlined. It like doesn't mess up as much. It's just the AI is just better a little bit better when you pay for it. I had the free account for a while too, and the AI, the $20 a month, I think is worth it. I mean, there's also Claude, like it doesn't have to be ChatGPT. I really love Claude for like this is a cool thing that I do with my clients is creating, interview follow-up is everything too. You can create one-pagers really easily with some of these things. There's another tool that I love called Gamma, that allows you to create AI generated. Just use Gamma. So I just did a Gamma. It's so easy. You can play with the colors, you can brand it. So like creating like one-pagers to follow up on your value, like things like that, like doing something different, video follow-ups though, or even like a lot of people don't want to do this, but even making a Loom video of yourself and sending it to a hiring manager or recruiter, that also opens doors, especially if you're talking about customer facing roles. You are literally showing them yourself and like how you would interact with the customer potentially. And if it's good, that's definitely going to make them look at you a lot longer than just a resume or a note.
Kathy, I see you have your hand up. Question?
Yes. Remote work.
Yes.
Does your company hire people for remote work? And what is your opinion of how remote work is perceived?
Yeah, we're completely remote first at Cresta, with the exception of SDRs and SDR managers who are on a hybrid schedule in New York and SF. I think there are a lot of companies, like Amazon, blah, 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 forcing people back into the office. I think it's in tech and startups, it's still perceived really well. And there's still a lot of companies that are remote first. We have an incredibly strong culture, even though we're remote first. We have lots of like on-sites and get-togethers and virtual activities and things like that. I think there's definitely a swing with bigger tech like Oracle, Amazon, blah, 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 to back in the office, at least hybrid schedule. I do think that's caused a lot of people to leave, including my former boss who left Amazon when they decided to do that. So I think it's still perceived well. I think it's a lifestyle choice. I think a lot of people after COVID realized how much time they got back from, commuting and want to spend that with their kids. And so definitely harder to find than I would say 2 years ago, where it seems like most companies were doing it. But still a ton of companies hiring remotely that have strong culture.
Thank you, Tina. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Any other questions from anybody? Well, Tina, I want to thank you. Great information. We'll get this presentation out to everybody so you'll be able to go back and look at it and get the prompts that she had listed at the very bottom. So Tina, thank you very much for your time today. Let's see here. Next week, our speaker is going to be Darren Newbold. He's going to talk about identifying your purpose and how to lean into that with confidence. So that'll be the presentation next week. And next week will be our last presentation. Then we're going to take 2 weeks off for Christmas and New Year's. On this video will get uploaded to the Career USA YouTube channel. We've got over 720 videos, I think, up there right now. Every video that I put up there goes into a playlist. So click on playlist, and then like you see in the lower left-hand corner, view full playlist. If you do that, up will come a list of all the different speakers and topics that we've had, and you can go back and watch anyone you want for the last 4 or 5 years. Just know that all the North Dallas ones, the speaker starts about 30 minutes into the presentation after we get through the original stuff we were talking about. Next Tuesday, for LinkedIn Tuesday, Ruth Lipsky will be with us to talk about LinkedIn tools for job seekers. Next Wednesday, the practice interview team is meeting online only. They will not be in person. It will be online only, and everybody will get a copy of that link in the emails that come out on Monday. So you'll be able to get that, or go to the careerusa.org website and you can click on the calendar link. Next Friday, as I said before, that's not the right speaker. That was this. All right, sorry about that. Next week, identifying your purpose, how to lean into it with confidence with Dan. And there will be no meetings the last 2 weeks because the church here will be closed. Today for lunch, we're going to go to Mama's Pizza. How many people think they're going to join us? How many pizza eaters do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So we'll be eating pizza, and the rest of you all can see what you have in your refrigerator. So thank you very much for joining us today. Tina, once again, thank you very much. Everybody else, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Happy holidays, everyone.
And Jeff, can I get a
Thank
link
you.
for that pit crew for next Wednesday?
It'll be on the career. It's already on the career.
DFW?
Yeah, Career DFW or Career USA calendar. You just go look for next Wednesday, and you'll see